How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting. Welcome back to Reincarnation. It's been a while. Thank you so much for your patience. I expressed it a little bit, but it kind of came out of the blue. I had a friend come from overseas, first time back in the States for a while. It was really nice to see him. Decided to just take a quick break, went on a few adventures with him, just spending time. We hadn't seen each other in years, and even when we had, it's been a very rare treat, and so it was nice to catch up. We went to Six Flags. I would have got more pictures, but it's hard to take pictures when you're, riding in loop-de-loops and stuff. But I've been the first time since I've been to an amusement park since high school, so it just was fun to be able to go and just kind of be a kid again. So yeah, I had a lot of fun, but we're back on track, and thank you so much for your patience. I know most of you probably didn't even care, but still, thank you so much. And we are back. So last time we kind of saw the at least mostly the evolution, the result of the Nellie and Mell situation. And whilst it wasn't the best of endings, they were able to actually confront their feelings with one another in a way that was actually remotely healthy, and kind of agreed to move forward despite the feelings that were there. Mell promised to kind of be more around and to give love a chance, to give his relationships a chance. And Nellie promised to keep her emotions in check. While she couldn't just get over her feelings, she promised to keep them familiar and to strive to move on. Whether she'll be successful in that, we don't know. But the fact that they were even able to be open with each other and not drive each other away was a huge gain compared to last time. So we're really excited to see that. That's a very good thing to see. So now we're jumping back in to the little cafe that could, or maybe, doesn't look like it's doing so great still, but hopefully we'll see it improve. We'll see things move forward in a better way. And yeah, we'll just see whose store we're going to intersect with next. So just sit down, grab yourself a snack if you feel like it, and let's just enjoy this together. So let's start this started. All right, Maria, come on. Should be working.
雇ってもらったはいいけど、ほんと、びっくりするほど暇なカフェだよね。
Well, don't you have a bus stop right there? Maybe you just need to advertise.
いつまで続けられるかわかんないし、他の仕事も探し始めた方がいいかもな。お客さんかな。いらっしゃいませ。やっほー。遊びに来たよ、マリーア。
Whoa! Pauline looks awesome in this world line. Well, this future. Interesting voice, but I like her. I like it. This is cute.
なんだあんたか。なんでそんな対応なの？せっかく親友の私が遊びに来たんだよ。もっと嬉しそうにしてくれないと。
Alright, so if we identify the core characters to be, Morgana as the main character of these stories, and then the next sub-main characters being Michelle, Giselle, Mel, Jacopo, and the Beast. It's in this second life, all the sub-characters, the important characters for each of the main characters, but we're still sub-characters. It's like they all became friends for some reason. It's really interesting.
いや別に、あんたは親友ってほどじゃないし。ひどい。子供の頃からの知り合いだし、一緒に海外旅行も行ったし、これ以上ない仲良しでしょ？
What's with your bad blood?
その程度の付き合いなら他にもいるけどね。まあいいや、親友ってことで。親友ならたくさん飲み食いしてお金落としていってくれんでしょ？親友ならちょっぴりサービスしてくれたっていいんじゃない？
I see your, what is it? Crap. I don't know what the word is right now, but they're both just being bums.
帰った金を払わない奴に友達を名乗る資格はない。だいたいあんた金持ちの娘じゃんか。
Oh yeah, that's right. She was from a richer family, so that does make sense.
払わないなんて言ってないじゃない。それにお父さんの仕事は私に関係ないし。関係あるね。3月の旅行だってあんたの場合は全部親に出してもらってたし、今回の留学だってそうじゃん。
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'd say at least middle class.
私は仕事をクビになってアクセク働いているっていうのに、あんたは優雅に語学留学。この格差やってらんないよ。なんかごめんね。哀れまれるとムカつく。じゃあどうしたらいいのよ。 ヒー一杯100ユーロで手を打つ。
A fetch!
ねえマリーア、あなた私のことを世間知らずだなんていっつも言うけど、コーヒー一杯なら10ユーロくらいだって知ってます？ああ、高いとこでしか飲んでないんだな。
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, pretty sure like 10 euros is a pretty gnarly cup of coffee.
はい、コーヒー。ハムサンドはテイクアウトでいいんだっけ？うん、せっかくいい天気なんだし、お昼ご飯は公園で食べようと思って。はあ、いいよな。私もそんな風に休日を謳歌したいわ。一緒に来る？ここのオーナーさんってあんまり様子を見に来ないんでしょ？だったらお昼を抜けたくらいわからないんじゃないかな。あのね、昼時に閉まってたらカフェやってる意味がないでしょ？でも昼時になってもお客さんは私だけだし。シャラップ！それ以上言うな。私に現実を直視させるな。
Wait. So the text said Silenzio, which I believe is Italian, which makes sense. I believe she's supposed to be like related with Jacopo and her, like, so she's supposed to be she's likely from an X family. It would make sense if they stuck with the Italian vibe. So Silenzio. But then the word that she said was very dramatic. Shut up. So it's like, it's just lovely.
確かにカフェとしてどうかって感じの運営状況だよ。でもだからこそこれ以上悪化させないために昼に閉じるわけにはいかないの。
Hey, good, Maria. I'm glad you have at least a little bit of, like, you know, gumption.
マリーアって不良っぽく見えるけど真面目だよね。あなたのカフェってわけでもないんだし、そんなに張り切らなくても。
Alright, Pauline. I'm not sure I am enjoying your attitude here of just encouraging your friend to disregard her responsibilities at job.
そりゃ私も張り切りたくて頑張ってるわけじゃないけどさ。オーナーにはちょっとだけ恩があるからね。前の仕事のお客さんだったんだっけ？あ、そうそう。アパレル店に勤めてた頃のね。
Oh, really?
お得意さんってほどでもないのに、私が困ってるって知ったら、あれこれ手を焼いてくれたし。
Oh, okay, right. Maybe this is like kind of her story about how they like kind of randomly met and like randomly got together.
こっちで働きやすいように、いろいろ手配してくれたしね。自分で全部やろうと思ったら、もっと時間がかかったと思う。まあだから、あんまり手は抜きたくないんだ。このカフェがオーナーの道楽だって知っててもさ。オーナーさん、お金持ちなのにお店の内装に気を使わないところが不思議だよね。内装には手を出すなって言われてるからね。ま、思い出の品とかいろいろあるんでしょう。
Okay. Am I missing something? Because I feel like they wanted to update this.
リフォームして今時のカフェにしたら、お客さんもいっぱい入るかもしれないのにな。ほら、隠れ家風カフェみたいな感じで。かもね。オーナーともっと信頼関係が築けたら提案してみるよ。私もこのままじゃ働きがいがないしさ。お店に手を入れることになったら声をかけてね。忙しくなって人手が足りなくなったら私も手伝うし。いつも話を聞いてくれてるお礼に何でも手伝うよ。へえ、何でも。じゃあ、ウェイトレスやってもらおうかな。私が用意した制服とかも着てくれる？
Oh, that's risky.
ウェイトレスさんって一度やってみたかったんだ。マリーアがデザインした制服ならきっと素敵なものになるね。
Yep, she's still super naive.
ちなみに、どういう制服にするつもりなの？バニーガール。え？胸元がガバーって開いた感じのバニーガール衣装であんたには働いてもらう。これでがっぽり儲けられる。
Oh gosh.
なんでそういう方向性になるの？そんなのカフェじゃないよ。冗談だって。1割くらいはな。はあ、冗談でも信じられない。そんなハレンチな格好人前でするものじゃないよ。
And that's where Pauline reveals that she's a freak.
人前じゃなきゃしてるってこと？じゃあ家ではバニーガールプレイとかやってんだ。
Oh gosh.
やってません。私たち親友なんでしょ？隠し事なんてしないであけすけに話せばいいじゃん。
These two are good for each other.
本当にやってないってば。
と遅れてしまったかな。というより取り込み中か。
Oh boy. Hi.
おう、噂をすれば恋人にバニーガールプレイをさせる男が到着したぞ。だからそんなことしてないって言ってるでしょ。
ん
Dum dum. Here we go. Thanks to Marie, I was beginning to develop a headache. But that wouldn't stop me from enjoying my date with Yukimasa. Wait, what? Okay, so they're on a date right now. Interesting. We had met about a month and a half earlier, around the end of April, not long after I'd moved to Paris for my immersive language study program. Oh, I'm so jealous. Marie was already living here by that point, and one evening she took me out to a bar. Prior to coming to Paris, Marie had worked at a fashion boutique in Milan, but things hadn't worked out there, and she had to leave her job. Then, well, the rest had happened as she described it. On the other hand, I'd just fallen in love with Paris while on vacation, so I decided to move here to get to know it even better. Everything was so vibrant and exciting, shiny and wonderful. I'd never felt so immediately moved by anything in my life. Marie probably thought I was here just to play around. She definitely made a few comments to that effect, things like, "What kind of starry-eyed idiot signed up for a language program after a sightseeing trip? You're in the wrong way over your head, girl." I don't know. That seems like one of the best times to do it. If you fall in love with a country, just go with it. I wish I could have. Wish I could have. But no matter what she said, I did have more of a reason than that. She probably wouldn't believe me if I told her. But ever since the trip, I'd had this weird nagging sensation in the back of my mind, telling me I needed to go back to Paris, that I had some kind of work to do there. Maybe it was all in my imagination, and I really did just want to spend more time in the city. But if that did turn out to be it, so what? I wasn't hurting anyone by wanting to live in an area I really loved. It seemed like a perfectly fine reason to me. I didn't exactly have anything I wanted to accomplish while in France. But living a pleasant life was an honorable goal of any, I thought. Noble ambitions are great and all, if that's your thing, but it's by no means everyone's cup of tea. There were plenty of people like me who only wanted a nice, happy life. But then again, maybe being able to think like that was all a blessing in itself. Yes. I'd grown up in a comfortable, well-off family, so I never had to worry about money, but maybe someone less fortunate than me wouldn't even be able to consider that same life. Putting it into perspective like that made me realize how sheltered I was. Which reminded me that once, so long ago, I could hardly say when Marie told me that my naivete would bite me in the butt one day. I thought I was putting on a good effort to be better about that, though. No. But anyway, back to how I met Yukimasa.
People がたくさんいるよ。フランス語がたくさん聞こえるよ。当たり前だろ、フランスにいるんだから。つうか、旅行の時だってバーくらい入ったじゃんか。あの時はもっと旅行者向けのお店だったし、話すのはフランス語じゃなくて英語だったし。
Where are they supposed to be from? Like, it sounds like they were in Italy, maybe?
フランス語が必要な時はマリーアが全部やってくれたから、私が話す必要なかったし。でも今日は私がフランス語でオーダーするって話でしょ。緊張もするよ。語学留学に来てんだから話していかないと上達しないだろ。語学にはアウトプットが必要不可欠。
Yeah, absolutely.
本当は私の付き添いなんかなくったっていろんなやつに話しかけていって率先的に会話していくべきなんだって。それは分かっているんだけど、マリーアは働けるくらい語学が堪能で羨ましいよ。
You could!
つうか、あんただって勉強はしてきたんだからやろうと思えば話せるはずなんだけどね。でもなあ、もう入り口でうじうじしてないで。入った入った。
I like how Marie would be a good friend for getting people out there. She's so, like, extroverted, and she's the kind of extrovert that grabs introverts and says, like, here, come with me.
ちょっと待って。 どうしよう。お手洗いから帰ってきたら、マリアの周りに人がたくさんいる。
Uh-oh.
ナンパってやつかな。マリアは笑いながら適当に流してるけど、あの場に入れる自信がないよ。ちょっと様子を見た方がいいのかな。
失礼、ちょっといいかな。
What a smooth man.
ナンパはお断りです。
お
しまった。ついフランス語じゃなくて英語で言っちゃった。でもこの人だって外国人だし、通じてないってことじゃないよね。
いや、トイレに行きたいからどいてくれると嬉しいなと。
He's like, I was just trying to go to the bathroom, man.
ごめんなさい。
お気にせず。
もう超恥ずかしい。絶対自意識過剰な女だって思われた。それにかなり怒ってたかも。あの人ピクリとも笑わなかったし、すっごく近づきがたい感じですっごく怖かった。
Interesting. I wonder how this is gonna play out.
ここのお店もう来ない方がいいんじゃないかな。はあ、マリアはまだ知らない人と話しているし。
ちょっといいかな。
今度は何ですか？
いや、席に戻りたいので、もう一度どいてもらえると嬉しいなと。
He's like, okay, I just tried to boss you again.
また私当選簿してた？ごめんなさい。もう絶対にしませんから。
Hey, look at that. He actually smiled.
今ちょっと笑ったっていうか、笑われたのかな。
いや、すまない。笑うつもりはなかったんだが、可愛らしくてついね。
Dang, he's got game now.
可愛らしくてって。
ナンパとかではないんだ。でも、一人でこんなところにいたら、次々に声をかけられると思うよ。連れはいないのか？
一緒に来ている子がいるんだけど、ちょっと今は話しかけにくくって。
そうか。それなら、少しこの辺りで話していく。
Honestly, Yukimasa, I don't like this because you're reminding me of me. I'm remembering, I started coughing so much. I don't know what's up with that, but it reminds me, I'm sure I've shared this story before, but one of the first girlfriends I had in college was a really funny happenstance type of meeting, because what ended up happening is I had a friend who was very much socially, he struggled socially getting out there, but at the time I knew he was really interested in, like, he wanted to like try and meet like more girls. He wanted to go out and start dating because he was interested in girls, and like he hadn't gone on a date ever since like school got out, and he was just kind of futzing around just working, and he was always lamenting like how hard it was. And I was like, you know what, I want to try and help. So I found this like mixer slash dance kind of thing that was going on for like college age kids, and well, not kids, like college age young adults, you know, like post high school. And I was like, tell you what, because I at the time I wasn't really looking to start dating because I was just launching into school, but I was like, look, how about we just go to this thing together? We can go, because there was like a dress up like Halloween event. I was like, we can dress up in costumes, we can go and just meet people, and if it doesn't work out, we'll go get ice cream, and like, you know, we'll have a good night overall. But, you know, the goal was to help him meet somebody, because, you know, he had trouble getting out the door, and he definitely was like struggling, but with me being there and like it being kind of a dress up like kind of event, he kind of was feeling a bit more, you know, open to the idea. So I was able to get him out. And I remember we walked in to the building where like the mixer was going on, and we're like signing in, and there's a couple girls right in front of us who are signing in. I remember I dressed up as the Doctor from Doctor Who. He dressed up as like a vampire, and the two in front of us, one had dressed up as like a fairy, and this other girl had dressed up as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And the funny thing is that we like walked in and like I just kind of casually said hi to them, and I was like, and I saw her because she had part of her costume, she had like a wooden stake, like a piece of wood that was sharpened, and I looked at that stake and I looked at the general outfit, because otherwise it just kind of looked like a normal outfit, but it was like a leather jacket and such. And I like looked at it and I was like, I recognized it because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of my favorite shows. Growing up especially, it was absolutely one of my favorites. And so I looked at it, I was like, so I actually like kind of walked up behind her and said, excuse me, you wouldn't happen to be dressed up as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, are you? And she's like, absolutely. And I was like, oh, that's so awesome. And so I started geeking out, and I was just like, and she's like, let me see if I can guess your costume. And I was like, okay. So I kind of stood, and I was wearing like, I was doing the David Tennant, like the was he the 10th Doctor? God, I should know this. Yeah, the 10th Doctor. And so I had like a brown suit, blue jacket on, and I had like a little like flip it fold out that had a piece of just blank paper inside, and I had a sonic screwdriver. And I said, I knew the sonic screwdriver would give it away, so I kind of pulled out like the pamphlet and said, well, here's the first clue. And I flipped it out. And she's like, And she's like, you wouldn't happen to have a sonic screwdriver? I was like, yep, you got me. So I was the doctor. And like, it was just fun that we had this little geeky moment. And I was like, well, hopefully we'll see you in there. Maybe save a dance for me, kind of a thing. You know, like just kind of being like a little like casual. Because that's the thing. This was a very casual event. So I was like, yeah, just save a dance for me. I'd love to meet up again. And she's like, sure. So she goes off with her friend, who's just at the ferry, and me and my friend go and sign in, and we go in. Right? Well, it was like a mixture of like, I'd say 150 people, maybe. Like, it was a pretty big thing, but like not humongous. So yeah, we saw him occasionally walking around. And I'd always say hi, and we'd have a conversation. And our friends ended up starting talking, because me and the girl dressed as Buffy would actually go out and dance every once in a while, like you know, like to the music, and just kind of go and have fun. We were trying to encourage them, but they were really hesitant, so they ended up spending a lot of time kind of by the snack and punch bowl, but they ended up talking back there. So I remember I saw that kind of happening, and they like spent a lot of time talking. They just kept going on and on and on. And so I kind of grabbed her during one of the slow songs and said, hey, can I have a dance real quick? She's like, absolutely. So we go and we dance, and we kind of start talking, and we're like, after like initial meetings, I was like, hey, looks like our friends are kind of hitting it off. And she's like, yeah, I'm really excited, because I kind of brought her out here because I was really wanting her to kind of meet somebody. And I was like, that's the same thing for my friend. He normally stays at home. He's a homebody, and I wanted to have him give him an opportunity. And like immediately we connected. We're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. Let's have a double date. You and I will go together, and these two will go together. It'll help break the ice. We can watch some Doctor Who and like just geek out a little bit. So like, we'll go out for ice cream, watch Doctor Who. That was like the date, like something super plain, super easy. Because I had access to like my dad's place. He had like a little like not a theater, but like a big screen TV in a basement full of bean bags. So like it felt like a miniature theater, like a middle class family's home theater. And I was like, we got comfortable beanbag chairs. We can watch Doctor Who there. It'll be nice and simple. And we're right next, like right down the road from like a soft serve yogurt place. So she's like, yep, that's a date. Exchange phone numbers, and we kind of go to them and say like, hey, we're thinking of going on a date. Would you two like to double with us? You know? And they're like, sure, yeah, we'd love to. So we go on this double date, right? I know this has been such a long story, but the only reason why I bring it up is because we went on that date, right? And the whole point of the date was to help break the ice with these two friends of ours who we both knew were struggling to meet people. And while they really hit it off at this mixer, for some reason, they just were struggling to hit it off when we actually went on the date. Maybe the actual, like, the idea that it was a date made it more awkward. I don't know. But me and the Buffy girl were like, you know, trying to like coax them out, and you know, part of that natural flow is we would ask them questions, and then we would end up talking to each other. But then we just kind of kept talking to each other, and we kept enjoying each other's company. And so they went off to go end the date, and I took her home, and we get back to her house, and I kind of turned and looked at her. I was just like, you know what? I had a lot of fun today. And she's like, I did too. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen between them, but can we go on another date sometime? Maybe just you and me this time. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I would like that. We ended up going out for several months. Didn't work out long term, of course, but like, it's so ironic that because we were trying to help our friends like date and actually date each other because they seemed to hit it off, we ended up going out and becoming a couple, and they didn't. That friend was actually pretty upset with me. I think he didn't really like how like my plan to try and like be his wingman ended up making him inadvertently wingman for me. I think he took that a little personally. It wasn't my intention, but like it's reminding me a lot of this scenario because it's this idea of like he just kind of is here, he sees her, he's like, well, like your friend's doing this thing, maybe like we should spend some time and chat for a little bit. Like it's very like kind of innocent, but it's obviously gonna work out and kind of like they're gonna hit it off. And it kind of reminds me a lot of that entire encounter. So anyway, story time over. That means I gotta make this episode longer because that was a long story time. I don't know what. I know I've shared that story before, but I love it. It's one of my favorite dating stories because it was so... It almost felt like a movie or something, you know? It was really cool. And it's like, even though, you know, we went our separate ways and that relationship didn't like end it anywhere, you know, it sucked when the breakup happened. She broke up with me. And that was not fun. But, you know, things work out in the end, and it still is a wonderful story. And she was really good about helping me realize that I didn't need to be so anxious about things. She was somebody who always pushed for, like, adventure. Somebody who always was, like, wanting to explore the new horizon and wanting to try out something different just because we could. And, like, life was too boring if you were sedentary. She always was up and moving and wanting to push and do stuff. And she helped me come more out of my shell and be more adventurous, even on my own. Because I used to feel like I had to have people with me in order to like be able to go do stuff. But she helped me kind of realize that I didn't need that and I could just go and do what I needed to do and be who I wanted to be regardless of why. In a way, you could actually say that she was a big reason why this channel exists, because it was that type of attitude and that go-getting and that willingness to step outside your comfort zone, which kind of led the foundation for me being able to do what I'm doing now. And I'm very grateful for that. Anyway.
私とあなたでですか？
もちろん嫌なら無理にとは言わないが。
嫌ってことじゃないんだけど。
よかった。向こうのカウンター席が空いているからそっちに行こうか。何か好きなものをおごるよ。
God, he's so smooth.
ありがとう。これ本当にナンパじゃないんだよね。ようやく諦めてくれたわ。そんなに騒がしい店じゃなかったと思うんだけど、金曜の夜だからかな。一人でいるとナンパ待ちだと思われて最悪だよ。私に声をかけるなら、アラブの石油王くらいになってもらわないと。
Okay, Marie, high standards much?
っていうか、ポーリン、戻ってくるの遅すぎない？知らない男と一緒にいる？あのバカ、ナンパされてホイホイついてっちゃったの？あいつの身に何かあったら大変だ。私が仲裁して。でも、なんか楽しそうだな。いやいや付き合ってる感じじゃないし。
She's like, body language says maybe don't interrupt.
そういうこと。ま、それなら放っておこうか。10代の小娘ってわけじゃないんだし、ね。
And yet...
それに、男と会話でもしたら、語学力も上達するっしょ。
Although he speaks English, though.
よく聞いてみたら、あいつ、フランス語使ってないじゃん。本当に勉強する気あんのかな？もういいや。バカバカし。一人で飲もう。マスター、ビール一杯よ。
へえ、それじゃあ君もフランスに来たのはつい最近なのか。奇遇だね。俺も1ヶ月前に転勤してきたばかりなんだ。
Ooh, interesting.
そうなんですか。1ヶ月前といえば、私もマリーアと旅行してて、それがきっかけでこっちに来てみようって。
ん？ということは、1ヶ月の間に外国へ引っ越すことを決めてしまったのか？
Oddly, that's so in character for her. It actually makes a lot of sense.
そうなの。お母さんにも呆れられちゃった。私、決めたら結構ちょっとつ盲信なんだよね。ちょっとつ盲信なんです。
そうかしこまらないでいいのに。普通に話してもらって構わないよ。
じゃあ、そうしよっかな。全然怖い人じゃなかった。むしろ、優しくて誠実そうな人って感じがする。
I can't not be scared of it though. I'm terrified he still has those tendencies to want to like rip people's faces off.
優しくて誠実か。そう言ってもらえると嬉しいよ。
え？どうして？
それはまあ、なんとなくね。
わかった。謙遜しているだけでしょう。日本人は謙遜と遠慮する人々だってお父さん言ってたし。
I mean, you're not wrong, but this case is different.
俺が謙遜と遠慮する人間かはともかく、よく俺が日本人だとすぐに分かったね。
Huh,
こっちに
interesting.
来ると、だいたい中国人だと思われるよ。間違われても別に悪い気はしないし、彼らの方が多数派だから、そう見えるのも当然だろうけどね。アジア系は見た目では判断しづらい。
I have to admit, I'd probably really suck at that too. I know there'd be some I could probably make educated guesses for, but between Chinese and Japanese, I doubt I'd be able to do well. But I tend to be able to recognize a good amount of the languages. So if I just hear like a little bit of what they're speaking, I can usually pick out which language they're likely speaking. Maybe not distinctions between the different types of like Chinese. But like I can tell the difference between Chinese and Korean and Japanese. Japanese obviously is the easiest just because I'm exposed to it so much, but I've been exposed to enough Korean and Chinese to be able to tell those two apart. And then I guess most of the other ones I'd probably not be too good, but at the same time I haven't been exposed to much like Indonesian or Filipino or Indian to be able to just recognize it at the drop of a hat. But you know, well, not Indian, it's Hindi. Sorry. Like, I don't know why I said Indian. I'm tired. Forgive me. It's late.
まあ、だからこそ、よく見抜けたなと。
実は、私のお父さんも日本人なの。だからすぐ分かったのかも。
Oh, interesting.
そうなのか。意外なところで接点ができたな。日本に行ったことは？
実は一度も。いつかは絶対に行きたいって思っているんだけどね。その時は日本語を教えてくれる？
日本語？
もちろんだよ。でも、その前にフランス語を勉強するべきでは？
Of course, Pauline would come to France to learn Japanese.
あ、そうだった。本当は今日も実際に話した方が上達するってマリアに言われてバーに連れてきてもらったんだけど、結局全然話してないよ。
I'm sure he could still practice with you.
はあ、私の周りには優秀な人ばっかりだし、自分のダメさ加減が浮き彫りになっちゃうな。
Jeez, Pauline, why are you speaking my language here now? Like, that's how I feel every freaking day.
そうかな。十分すぎるほど優秀だと思うよ。母国語に英語にフランス語までマスターしたらトライリンガルだ。
But wouldn't you also be trilingual?
そんなに話せたら仕事にも困らないだろ。すごいことじゃないか。正直、俺はフランス語までマスターできる気がしない。
え、そうなの？こっちで働いているからペラペラなんだと思ってた。
まさか、社内ではみんな英語だよ。外で食事をするときも英語が通じるところにしか行かない。英語を身につけるだけでも死ぬほど大変だったのに、これ以上は考えたくもないね。
I want to learn another language.
そうだったんだ。仕事は何をしているの？
システムエンジニアだよ。社内向けのツールを開発している。
Very nice. Very nice indeed. That's a solid job.
なんだか難しそう。それに意外な感じ。しっかりした体をしているから肉体労働系なんだと思ってたわ。
Wow. If I had a nickel for every time someone had said you're so well built to me, I would be penniless.
体を鍛えるのが趣味でね。ジムに通ったり、格闘技を習ったりしている。
Dang, this guy's a freaking beast.
すごい。かっこいいな。悪い人が現れてもすぐ倒せちゃうね。
そうだね。
He's like, I'm the bad guy.
あれ、私変なこと言ったかな。なんか今変な間があったような。もしかして何か別の目的があって体を鍛えているとか。でも別の目的って言っても思いつかないな。
I can think of
まさ
some.
か喧嘩とか？そんなわけないよね。
そういうわけで力には自信があるから困ったことがあったら呼びつけてくれて構わないよ。
Yeah, if he's a systems engineer, why is he helping with the cafe? I guess because he knows Marie. Does he only know Marie because of Pauline, though?
俺くらいガタイがいいと悪い奴も寄ってこないからね。鍛えても使い道なんてないんだ。だから君のような子の役に立てたら一番だ。
No, jeez.
おっと、出会ったばかりなのに慣れ慣れしかったか。これではナンパと変わらないな。
そんなことないよ。すっごく嬉しい。
It's nice when you think they're cute, and then creepy if it's not.
やっぱりさっきのは気のせいみたい。こんなに紳士で親切な人なんだもん。悪いことはしないよね。社交辞令とかじゃなかったら、本当にお願いしてもいいかな。引っ越してきたばかりで荷物がたくさんあるの。家具も買わないといけないし、一人じゃ大変で。
Good grief.
もちろんお礼はするよ。何でも好きなものをおごるし、お家で作ってもいいし。
断るわけないじゃないか。それに礼なんていらないさ。君と出会えたこと自体がお礼みたいなものだ。
Oh no, it'd be a shame if I happened to be flirting with you. Flirt's even harder.
やっぱりあなたって女の子の扱い超慣れてませんか？そうやって何人たぶらかしてきたんですか？
いや、そんなことはないんだが、というか、なぜ敬語？
警戒しているからです。
口に出してしまっては意味がないって。本当に慣れているわけじゃないんだ。信じてもらえるかわからないが、こうして自然に話せる女性自体珍しいし。
Now here's an opposite for me. For some reason, always growing up, I've always been able to talk with girls pretty alright. Now, it's not always the most comfortable thing, and I've never felt like I'm always a smooth, move maker or whatever, but I've never struggled to talk with girls, and I've usually ended up having lots of friends that are girls. It's just the way I grew up. I literally have a picture of me. I've definitely said this, but it's been a while. I have a picture of me on my 6th birthday with all my friends at for a birthday party, and it's everyone who lived on my block and a couple friends from school. It's there's 12 of us there. Me and one other guy are there. The rest are girls. And that's how my life's always been. I feel like I've had more friends that are girls than guys. Now, the guy friends have stuck around a lot longer, All the girls, once they, got married, got families, or just moved along, we kind of just stopped talking. But a lot of the guys and I are still close friends and continue to hang out and do stuff. But I never struggled to talk to girls. But I did struggle to get out of the friend zone, which is where I ended up a lot.
それに、実を言うと、君のことを知っていたんだ。
Ah, that's what I thought.
私のことを？どういうこと？
正確には見たことがある程度だけどね。
Ah, interesting.
さっき君も1ヶ月前に旅行でパリに来ていたと言っただろ？その時、俺は喫茶店で上司と打ち合わせをしていたんだけど、
Oh, right.
窓の外を横切る君の姿を見たんだ。とても印象的だったから、よく覚えている。
Interesting.
それ、本当に私だったの？外を横切っただけで覚えているなんて。もしかして、その時の私が印象に残るようなおかしなことをしていたとか？
I mean, that's what I would think too, but I probably wouldn't say that.
いや、そんなことはないよ。普通にパンか何かを食べながら歩いていたかな。
へえ、 忘れてください。今すぐなかったことにして。
He's like, I just saw you jumping down. She's like, oh gosh, no, please.
別に変な状況じゃなかったと思うんだが。
買い食いの現場を覚えられているなんて恥ずかしいよ。
そういうものか。でも、忘れるのは嫌だな。その時の君はとても幸せそうで、見ているこっちも温かい気持ちになったから。
That is kind of cute.
私、食い意地張っているわけじゃないからね。
そういうことにしておくよ。それで、あの時も感じたけど、もっと以前から君を知っていたような気がするんだ。
There you go.
だから、今日は絶対に話しかけるべきだと思った。あの時は姿を見ただけだったが、今日は声も聞けてよかった。
That's sweet and creepy at the same time.
そうですか。
やっぱり、作り話みたいに聞こえるかな。客観的に考えたら、ナンパの上等句みたいだと自分でも思うし。
If anyone's claiming that this would actually work most of the time, then they're not a pickup artist.
怖がらせてしまったら、すまない。
そうじゃなくて、今のは照れただけっていうか、確かに変わった話だけど、私もそうであってほしいって思うの。だから、嘘じゃないって信じたいな。
Aww.
だってなんだかロマンチックだもんね。私のことを前から知っていたような気がするって。もしかしたら、運命の出会いなのかも。なんてね。
Pauline's cute. She's cute. I don't think I'd fall for her, but she's definitely adorable. Starting with that encounter, Yukimasa and I bonded very quickly. We exchanged phone numbers. I called him to help with moving stuff. I went to his place to hang out. And in short order, we went from acquaintances to friends to a couple. I'd never been in a relationship before, and I certainly never expected my first boyfriend to be a Japanese man I met while studying abroad in France. No, but that's how the stars align sometimes. And when I told Marie that we'd begun dating, she...
あんた、騙されているんじゃない？それか、旅行気分で浮かれて、ちゃんと周りが見えてないんだよ。
No, you're saying that's the same thing, not either or.
ろくに知らない相手と付き合うなんて信じらんない。痛い目を見ても知らないかんね。あんたはフラフラしているし、ほんと心配しかないよ。
Yeah. And then she gave me a big, heavy sigh, and that was that. Sometimes I feel like Marie was my mother. I could understand why she was concerned, but I was confident I could tell the difference between a good guy and a dangerous one. No. Yukimasa was always such a sweetheart and a gentleman. I was positive I had nothing to be worried about. How is he gonna confront that, though?
待ち合わせ場所にしちゃってごめんね、マリーア。ハムサンドもありがとう。いいよ。さっきはああ言ったけど、マジで暇だし。あんたが来てくれると、話し相手ができて助かる。そっか、よかった。今度は語学学校の人たちも連れて平日に来るね。売り上げに貢献しなきゃ。
二人とも本当に仲がいいな。ポーリーンを連れて行ってしまうのが申し訳なく思うくらいだよ。
今度は3人で遊びに行かない？きっと楽しいと思う。そうだね。考えておくよ。
He's like, nah, I don't really want to be a third wheel, especially with you two.
なんでそんなに歯切れが悪いの？
Well, at least you picked up on that.
そりゃ、カップルの間に入るのはなかなか言いづらいものがあるだろう。俺が逆の立場でも同じ反応をすると思うよ。
At least Yukimasa is a lot more thoughtful. Like, if he is still like dealing with his negative tendencies, he's definitely like doing a lot better than he has in the past.
気にしなくていいのにな。はあ。
No, when you two people are a couple, even when they're being casual, it's not casual.
っていうよりも、この男のそばにいるのが嫌なんだよな。今はポーリーンの前だし、私も愛想よくやってるけど、なんかすごく こいつのこと苦手なんだよな。
Mhm.
上辺だけで話しているような、嘘しかついてないような、そんな匂いがする。でも勘ってだけで証拠があるわけじゃない。ポーリーンに言っても聞いてくれないだろうな。
Yeah, he's still like a psychopath, but like that makes an argument to be said. Like, even if you have psychopathic tendencies, can you become a functional member of society? I would argue, of course, yeah, because I imagine the majority of psychopaths don't turn out to be serial killers. I think that a lot of people who have sociological, what's it called? It's psychopaths and sociopaths. Sociopaths and psychopaths learn how to adapt and function in society on the majority of the time. They often struggle in certain instances, but they often also are really good about learning how to mimic emotions that they don't feel or empathize with, you know? They learn it's not proper to not feel those things, and so they kind of learn how to, even though they don't actually feel that way. That's probably what Marie's picking up on. But there's an argument to be said that just because you have those psychopathic tendencies doesn't mean that you're going to act on them in a way that's going to be super disruptive. There's going to be plenty of people who are quite content with just, not rubbing shoulders with people or not like making people angry and upset. They just find joy in whatever they find joy in. And heck, they might find joy in being around people even if they don't empathize with them. It's hard for me because I am holding his past against him, and I probably shouldn't. This is all about fresh starts. Even if they have fragments of their own memories, we shouldn't be too hard to judge them. And so far it sounds like he's okay, but Pauline picked up on the idea that he might be enacting some of his fantasies and his desires for, physical confrontation. But maybe he's found a healthier way to deal with it. What if he's an MMA fighter? That could probably be a good way for him to get his aggression out in a way that's not super, risky. There's rules and regulations that can keep him in check, so he can still let some of those tendencies out in a way that's more socially acceptable and less lethal.
この子一度信じたら他のものが目に見えなくなっちゃうタイプだし、一度痛い目見て勉強すればいいって思うけど、痛い目程度で済むのかが心配だよ。
マリア、どうしたの？真剣な顔で考え込んじゃって。
なんでもないよ。ほんと、カップルの間に入るのなんて面倒だなって思っただけ。
Yeah.
あのバーの夜だって、私のことほったらかして男とべったり話し込んでるんだもんな。
Yeah.
そんなことないよ。それにマリアだって知らない人に囲まれていたし。その後だってカウンター席で誰かといい感じに話してたじゃない？ほら、くせ毛の。
Oh, was that Jacopo?
はあ？あれのどこがいい感じだよ。顔面歪むくらい殴り飛ばすか、もじゃもじゃ頭を引っこ抜くかしたいくらいさ。
Yeah, that must have been Jacopo.
そんなにもじゃもじゃした頭じゃなかった気がするけど。
まあ、私のことはいいや。ほら、連れを待たしちゃダメでしょ。早く行った。
はーい。
Alright.
ねえ、あんた、ポーリーンじゃなくてミスターの方。
ミスターなんて呼び方をしなくても、もっと気軽に呼んでくれていいのに。
ポーリーンを泣かせたらぶっ殺すかんね。
Oh.
心外だな。彼女を泣かすような男に見えるかい？
念のために言ってみただけさ。気分を害したらごめんね。
Okay.
いや、ポーリーンは随分と愛されているんだな。もちろん彼女を傷つけることも安心してほしい。
そう、それならいいんだけど。
二人ともどうしたの？何話してるの？
なんでもないよ、ポーリーン。それじゃそろそろ行こうか。
またね、マリア。
I'm glad they found each other, but it is I'm worried. He's the one that worries me the most.
安心してほしいなんて言われてもちっとも安心できないよ。この胸騒ぎは何なんだろうな。何事もないといいけど。
No, I'm hoping he's gonna be okay.
いい天気。こんなにいい天気の下でお昼ご飯にするといつもより美味しく感じるね。
そうだね、ポーリン。
ねえ、この後はどうする？雪政、どこか行きたいところはある？
ポーリンが行きたいところで構わないよ。君と一緒ならどこでも楽しいからね。
Yeah, that does seem a little like fluffy words.
いつもそう言ってくれるけど、雪政がしたいことはないの？パリ以外のどこかに足を伸ばしてみてもいいよ。
Japan.
近場だったら日帰りでも行けると思うし。ね、行きたいところを教えて。
困ったな。パッとは思いつかないんだ。
じゃあ、プロレスを見に行くとかどうだろう。
What an odd recommendation.
プロレス？意外だな。君がそういうのを好きだったとは。
見たことない。というより、痛そうなのは苦手かも。でもほら、雪政は体を鍛えるのが趣味って言ってたでしょ？
That's kind of cute. She's like trying to like pick something that she's like, you like wrestling, right? Let's go do that.
だから、プロレス観戦とかも好きなのかなって。
おお、なるほど。俺に合わせようとしてくれたのか。ありがとう。でも、特にスポーツ観戦が好きというわけでもないな。
So you're a play sports kind of guy.
そうなんだ。じゃあ、どうしよっか。やることが思いつかなくて困っちゃったね。
I know what I'd want to do, being in Paris. There's a lot of cool history, castles, and like other historical buildings, the Louvre. Like so many amazing things to do culturally in the area, but this is the thing. I'm not a muscle-bound Asian man, so maybe that's why Pauline wouldn't be interested in someone like me.
公園でゆっくりすればいいじゃないか。何もしないでも俺は楽しいよ。強いて言えば、こうやってのんびりと平和に過ごすのが一番好きかな。
退屈なんてしないよ。私、雪政と一緒だったら、どこで何をしてても嬉しいもの。じゃあ今日は公園で日向ぼっこだね。
It's a nice park.
ねえ雪政。雪政は将来の夢ってある？
将来の夢か。まだ思いつかないな。仕事もこの先どうなっていくかわからないしね。
Wonder what she's gonna say.
君は？
私はね。バカにしないで聞いてくれる？
If it's her, I wonder if she's gonna say she wants to have a lot of kids because she, like, when she was the nun, she really loved children and she liked caring for them.
もちろん。
私の望みはね、あなたと一緒にのんびり暮らすこと。
She's a freaking proposal!
大きなことなんて望んでないの。普通に生きて、だんだんおばちゃんになって、その時には子供が3人くらいいて。
Alright, Brie, you should be worried, but not about Yukimasa. You should worry about Pauline. She's like dating this guy for like, what, a couple of months? And she's like, I just want to get married to you and have a few kids.
争いもなく、気づいたらおばあちゃんになって。何事もない人生だったな。でも、最高だったなって。
I don't know. I think a life where you never have fights or disagreements doesn't really feel real.
そういう風に、
Wow.
ポーリン？
ごめん。なんかぼーっとしちゃって。私、前にも同じことを言ったような。
へえ。他の男にも同じようなことを言ったのか？
まさか、私、誰かと付き合ったのは雪政が初めてだよ。だから今のは気のせいだと思うんだけど。
First guy she's ever dated. That's impressive for someone like as pretty as she is. But you know what? prettiness doesn't ever mean anything. Like, maybe she's turned people down or just never been interested or she's kind of been naive and vapid. She just might not have realized guys were interested.
もしかして疑ってる？私が今まで誰かと一緒だったことがあるって。
いや、君のことを疑うなんてありえないよ。ただ、不思議に感じたんだ。俺も同じようなことを聞いた気がするから。
Yeah.
ねえ、私のこと夢見がちで子供っぽい女って思ってもらっても構わないんだけど、生まれ変わりって信じる？
And she's right. It's crazy how, like, their instincts are so on point.
もしもよ、生まれ変わりなんてものがあったとしたら、もしそうだったら、本当に素敵だよね。生まれ変わっても出会えるなんて、運命の赤い糸以上だと思わない？すごくロマンチック。あ、やっぱりちょっと引いた？今時生まれ変わりとか運命とか、私痛い子だよね。
I'd say reincarnation is a lot more likely than a lot of other things people believe.
でも、そうだったら本当にいいなって思ったの。
そうだね、ポーリー。もしそんなことがあるなら、運命的で素敵だと。
雪政。
もしも万が一、生まれ変わりなんてものがあり、彼女と何度も出会っていたのなら、それほど皮肉な運命はないだろう。運命の赤い糸。とんでもない。そこにあるのは、
Interesting.
手錠か死刑台の縄だ。
It's so interesting because remember he used to talk about how Pauline was his line, his lifeline, he would call her. Like, she was the thing that helped him not go crazy, like stay grounded. But now he sees himself as the ball and chain that drags her down. It's so interesting because it's like the same analogy, but it's been flipped. Not just the individual, but the imagery. That's cool. That's actually clever writing. I like that.
呪われているとしか思えない。俺ではなく。
But she wanted that. She wants it that way.
のんびりしすぎちゃった。途中でお昼寝までしちゃうし、今日は怠け者の一日って感じ。
そろそろ日も暮れそうだ。どこかで夕食をとってから帰ろうか。
あ、提案。今日は私が夕飯を作りたいな。一緒にスーパーに寄っていかない？
That sounds cute, but if I remember correctly, you weren't great at cooking food.
ポーリーンの手料理か。それは楽しみだね。
お邪魔します。買い物の荷物持ってくれてありがとう。
Are they like living together? That's insane. But I mean, hey, they're dating, so maybe that's just the natural progression. But that's where we're going to stop for today. This was an interesting episode. I apologize. Well, not really. I enjoyed sharing some of my stories from the past. I hope you didn't find that too boring, but it is still one of my favorite stories. So I'm sure it's come up before, and it tickles me every time I get to say it. And it was just fun. A lot of interesting things have happened. I think everyone's life has a lot of interesting key moments because I've always looked back at my past as being boring and uneventful. But now as I like retell and share some of my like life stories on like these various videos, I sometimes realize over time that like some of the stuff that's happened to me has been really interesting and like noteworthy in very odd and memorable ways. And so I appreciate the fact that I get these times to reminisce and reflect because it helps me kind of have better appreciation for myself and like my own history. So thank you for listening to that. I hope you enjoyed, and I'd love to know, do you have any interesting stories you want to share about like your dating experiences and maybe the times where the threads of fate seem to bring you together with somebody, even if it didn't work out in the end. But beyond that, this is really going to be interesting to see Yukimasa, the beast, and kind of see how he's dealing with his like feelings, because obviously he feels really guilty or like unworthy of the way he felt. Last time in a previous life, he had this kind of superiority complex where he felt invincible almost and derived pleasure from pain. I'm guessing he still feels those tendencies, but he feels guilty for them. Whether that's because he knows he should feel guilty about them, or he has a lot more empathy this time around than he had in the past. I'm interested to see how that plays out. How does he indulge in those things? If he does, I'm sure he does. And like, how is Pauline going to react when she learns about him? Because that was kind of the big rift between the two of them. They never were perfectly honest with each other about their own feelings. Pauline is super naive, but I'm guessing there's going to be more to her than meets the eye. And he's got to, I think, needs to be able to reconcile his fears, emotions, and weaknesses with her. And then she's got to decide if she's willing to accept that or not. I'm curious to see how that's all going to play out, but we'll have to find that out next week. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much, especially to the patrons who've been so patient with me. I've been so bad about the patron cast. I need to get back onto that. Like, I think I'm going to do patron cast this weekend. I have to. It's the end of the month. So again, I'm like doing a month late, whatever. I'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much for all your patience and love. I appreciate you being willing to share and continue to support the channel as you have. It means the world to me, helping me get new art and feature new stuff on the content and making it so I can do 5 videos a week. You know, maybe someday we'll get to 7 videos a week or something remotely close to it. Like, but, you know, that's something I got to work for. But every little bit helps, and it's wonderful that you guys will continue to support me. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate every second and time and every little thing you give my way, because all of us together, you guys are amazing. I don't deserve this amazing community that I'm surrounded by, and I'm grateful that we get to see it grow and continue to expand. And like, it's wonderful because like sometimes I find people who are finding my old videos and like leaving comments on them. I'm like, oh, like it just makes my day to know that my content is still around and still being like interesting to people. And so I hope to continue to make content that much. And until the next video watching me, I've seen you next. I'll see you there.